Hey guys and girls, guess who's back? That's right, Eminem's got a new album out, but technically that's not what I'm talking about. My name's Alan, welcome to today's gameplay commentary.
I'm guardedly optimistic.
It has been, I don't even know how long. It's been, what, 2 months since longer than, nearly 3 months since my last video on this channel, and I do apologise for that. Before I left, I did say that I was going on a pretty long trip. I was going to America for 3 weeks for a family member's wedding. I have since returned. Well, I returned a long time ago. I actually returned to the UK last month, and something came up and I had to move back home for a little bit. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to stream. I wasn't able to make videos. I wasn't able to do any of that stuff. I was able to play a lot of games though while I was, I say a lot of games. I managed to play a lot of Fortnite while I was back at home, but I didn't manage to share any of that footage. I didn't manage to live stream any of that gameplay, unfortunately. So yeah, I went away for 3 weeks and I came back and as I said, something came up and so I had to move back home again. But now I've since moved back to my place. And I've actually sort of jiggled my setup a little bit, so I've moved stuff around, I've put my TV in a different place, monitor in a different place. My goal is in the not too distant future to buy a second monitor so I can properly get into my streaming a bit more, just because at the moment I'm using a laptop as a second screen and it's not really working because there are some things that you can't quite see. Basically, I use the same monitor for both my PC and my PS4. It's a really good monitor, but it means that obviously when I'm playing, I can't really do stuff properly on my stream, and I can't catch up with chat and all things easily. So I do need to get a second monitor just for that. But also, I think just in general for my working, I think it would be better to have a second monitor because I do a bit of editing and stuff, and I like to have certain things open while I'm doing that. So it would be nice, and it's been something like that I've been looking at for a long time, to be fair. So it's not like it's something I've decided to do just because of streaming. It's something that I've thought about the game for a while. It's nice to have a dual monitor setup. I mean, it depends obviously what you use it for, but in my situation I think it's quite useful. Anyway, so today's gameplay commentary is slightly different in that I've used two separate pieces of gameplay and I've merged them together. So the first match is a Plunder on Madagascar and the second match is going to be a Plunder on River, and in both situations obviously I do pretty well, otherwise I wouldn't have used the gameplay. Now the first match I use the first half because that's where I do the most work, and I think towards the end, I won't spoil it, but towards the end it sort of peters off a bit and you'll see why. And in the second match, I start off not too hot, but then towards the end I really pick up and it gets really interesting towards the end, so that's why I decided to use the second half of that match. So between the two, I thought I wouldn't use the whole video for each game because the entire match is not fantastic from start to finish, but between the two I've got a good start and I've got a good finish, so I put them together. So I'm trying something different today. Do let me know in the comment section below if you thought it was good or bad or indifferent about it all, but I thought the gameplay was the important thing to showcase. So as I said, hopefully you're enjoying it, hopefully you will continue to enjoy it, and I will continue to talk over the entire video talking about my big trip to America. Right, so it was the end of September that I went, which is a long time ago now. It's December, by the way. So Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas. I don't know if anyone said that to you yet. I'm pretty sure I said something similar last year. I don't think the 1st of December is too early. In fact, I said it, I think, even earlier last year. But this year, this is the first time I actually recorded a video. So it is December now, and I am looking forward to Christmas. I'm a big fan of Christmas. I really do enjoy it. I should have got my decorations up by now, to be fair. I'm waiting for my tree. Normally my parents buy, I say normally, last year my parents bought a Christmas tree, they bought me one at the same time. This year I'm sort of waiting for the same thing again, but I think there might be a because of certain stuff that's going on. So I don't know when I'm going to get my tree as of yet. I may be forced to get it myself, but I want a real one, and yeah, my parents seem to know the best places to go for a real tree. So, and they're also good at picking trees. I mean, they've had plenty of experience, unlike me. So I might wait for that. I do have some decorations already in my house because I didn't pack them away properly, so they're sort of just in boxes in my living room, and they've been there for like the entire year. So I can't technically put my decorations up, but I kind of want to do it all at the same time, but I might have to do it in parts because I said I don't want to wait until my tree arrives, and that might be a little bit while longer yet. So I might get some of the decorations up, get some of the lights up on the windows and stuff like that, just to get started. But I'm really looking forward to Christmas this year, just because I've changed my work hours slightly, because I'm looking for a new job. I've talked about this in the past, and so it does mean that I have a bit more free time. So this year I think I'm going to enjoy Christmas more so than I have done in previous years, because I do work in retail. Again, I've talked about this in the past, and it does mean that Christmas is a very busy time of the year, and so it means not as much free time to enjoy Christmas like I used to do, like when I was at uni and when I was at school and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to Christmas this year just because I've got a bit of downtime, and it's my second year in my house, and I can't remember, I'm sure I said to my parents and my sister I don't think it was, I wouldn't have said this year. I don't think I said this year. I think I said 2020 for Christmas at my house. So I've got 1 year to prepare for that. But considering I've done next to nothing to my house between this year and last year, I'm starting to be a little bit worried about it now. But 2020 Christmas my house, I think I've already said it. So I need to get my crap together and get organised. So I've got 1 year to plan it. This year, by the way, has gone stupidly fast. I have a video planned for towards the end of the year, like a New Year roundup sort of thing. So I'll talk a bit more about it then. But this year has gone stupidly fast, in my opinion. And I just don't understand how we've managed to go from spring to summer to autumn, and now it's basically winter. Well, it is winter, and December. It's almost Christmas. It's like 3 weeks of Christmas, less than that even. And it's really scary, really scary how fast this year has gone. Anyway, as I said, that video will go up sometime in the next few weeks before hopefully the new year. It's similar to a video that I recorded last year, so I'll promote it when it gets closer. But for now, let's just go back to my US trip and the wedding itself. Right, so let's just go right back to the start. So I was in a rush to buy things like health insurance and my suit. Thankfully, it always came together. In terms of my health insurance, I spent literally over a day just looking through websites, getting prices and all the rest of it. And a friend told me, look, you've left it too late. The price is going to be jacked up because they know you're going to go. So there's no reason for them to offer you any sort of a discount. Boy, was he right. I was looking for these prices, and if I'd have just bought them a couple of weeks earlier, I could have got a discount, you know, save 20-25%, that sort of thing. But because I bought them last minute, and they knew I was going to wait in the next couple of days, the prices were just high. And there's nothing I could do about that because of last minute panic buying, basically. So, pro tip, buy your insurance early. Do not leave it last minute. Sometimes you can make a saving in the long run if you just buy like a whole year's insurance. So I just bought a single trip because I'm not planning to go anywhere at the moment. But who knows, in a few months' time, maybe I'll win the lottery. Well, I guess if I win the lottery, then technically I wouldn't really care too much about the price. But I mean, if you're thinking about maybe going on another trip, it's only an extra like $5 or sometimes to pay for like a year versus buying just a one-off trip. So you pay an extra $5 and you go on 2 trips, you've saved yourself a lot of money. But I suppose in my situation it's a moot point. But I'm just saying in general, if you think you might go away for another short-term trip, I mean, some of these insurance policies cover you internally as well. So even if you don't travel abroad, it might still cover you inside the country. So if you hurt yourself while on a trip down to your local campsite or whatever, you might still be able to make a claim on it. Who knows? But yeah, there's a lot of things that I never really looked into because this is my first proper trip where I've planned it. Well, I say planned it myself. I've done stuff like this by myself, which is it's all new to me. Now, the other thing that's stressing me out, as I mentioned as well, is that I bought insurance for my mum, who was traveling with me. And again, I've never really done this before, so I was a little bit worried because she's got not necessarily some ailments, but just things that I don't know whether he's meant to declare or not on the insurance, because I'd hate for them not to pay out just because I forgot to mention one tiny little thing. In terms of medication and stuff, I didn't really know what the hell she was taking. In terms of actual things that I might need to declare, I wasn't entirely sure whether I should declare them or not. So in the end, I just declared every little thing. And when it eventually came to the pricing, my insurance was okay. It's pretty normal, pretty standard. I'm fit and healthy. Well, in terms of the insurance anyway, I'm fit and healthy. But for my mum, the price was like triple what I was paying. And to be honest with you, I just got to the point where I was just so fed up going through these sites. I was like, sod it, I'm just going to pay it. I don't even care at this point because I'm just not going to waste any more time and I've got enough things to do. So I'm just going to pay the insurance, and it really hurt me. Like, it was annoying more than anything because I knew it was my fault. I'd left it last minute. If I'd just done it earlier, I probably could have got a discount. I could have spent a bit more time researching, getting a second opinion on whether or not I needed to declare these things or not. Probably I didn't need to, but I was just erring on the side of caution and I wasn't going to risk it, so I thought, screw it, just pay it. So the insurance for me was relatively cheap, but for my mum was expensive. But as I said, that's the price you pay when you leave things last minute. The other thing that I left last minute was my suit. Now, I hate clothes shopping. I talked about this in several videos now. I ordered a lot of this stuff online because my size is sort of odd. Therefore, I need to sort of get the correct size of it. Well, that's the same with any clothes shopping, but for a suit in particular, I was finding it really hard to find like an exact fitting suit in a store. So I had to order bits and bobs online, and some of the sizes were a bit too big, some small, so I had to reorder these things. And as time was ticking, I mean, it's a couple of days after you order before this stuff arrives, right? So you got to try it on, you got to reorder, wait another couple of days, and time's ticking, getting closer and closer and closer. But thankfully, within the last couple of days, all my stuff arrived on time, and it all fit. And even if it didn't, tough crap, I couldn't do anything about it. But thankfully it all fit and it looked good. And I was finally ready to pack my suitcase, which, by the way, I'd left literally to the night before. I had all the stuff like sort of assembled in the room on the floor, but I'd not packed any of it because I was waiting for the suit and stuff like that to arrive. My suit ended up taking up like half my suitcase space, suit, shoes, that sort of thing. And then I had to pack the rest of it in, and it's sort of ironic because I packed a lot of but I thought I packed not that much stuff, but it turns out I actually packed more than I thought I did. Everything fit comfortably into the suitcase because I didn't want there to be a full suitcase. I wanted it to be a little bit empty in case I bought souvenirs and stuff. Didn't actually end up buying that much in America because, to be honest with you, there wasn't really that much I was interested in. I wasn't going there for a clothes shopping trip or anything like that, and as I said before, not really that interested in clothes shopping anyway, so I wouldn't have bought much. But in terms of actual souvenirs, I mean, you know, there's stuff that you can buy online these days, and there's nothing that I saw that caught my attention. Like, sometimes people buy electronics because they're cheaper abroad and stuff like that, but it's whatever, and I don't really need anything, so I didn't buy anything in the end. Anyway, so I ended up going to America with this suitcase of stuff, and I didn't even wear, like, I'd say I probably wore about 60% of it, maybe. I bought a couple of new items, and some of them stuff still had tags when I returned. But obviously, because I was gone for so long and I bought them in advance, I couldn't actually take them back to the shops. I've got like a bunch of like new shirts and stuff that I have not even wore yet, t-shirts and things like that, and I can't, well, I guess I'll save them for my next holiday, but who knows when that's gonna be. So yeah, that's kind of funny. Right, so then on the night itself, I was packing my suitcase, got everything together, and it got to the point where it was so late, there was no point in me going to sleep because we had to get a taxi in the early morning to go to the airport. The flight was early in the morning. Well, not early, but like early-ish in the morning, but you got to check in like 3 hours in advance. You got to get to the airport and all the rest of it. So I basically pulled an all-nighter and slept a little bit on the taxi, got to the airport, just chilled for a bit, checked in, got onto the plane. Okay, so just before I continue, fun fact, the last time I went to America was 20 years ago, almost to the month, if not to the month, if I remember correctly, that I last went to America. I went with my family, so my mom and dad, my sister, went to Florida, Disney World, and we also went to the West Coast, San Francisco, to visit my aunt, the same aunt whose kid, my cousin, is now getting married, and that was 20 years ago. And 20 years ago, we flew by Virgin Atlantic, and I distinctly remember playing late into the night on the plane because they had like a little game pad, and I was playing Mario or whatever it was, and late into the night, pretty much all night if I remember correctly. And I was looking forward to doing that again this time round because we were flying with the same company, Virgin Atlantic. And we got on the plane and I sat down. They didn't have the game pad, so I was a little bit disappointed. Now I thought maybe they'd changed it to the touchscreen, but it turns out there's only a limited selection of games and they weren't the same caliber. But on the way back, we also flew with Virgin Atlantic, and I realised that that service was only available for premium, economy and higher. So I figured that my parents must have forked out a little bit extra for us to fly premium economy back then. But me now, obviously flying on a budget in economy, we didn't get those sort of perks. Right, so this video is sort of coming to an end now, and I think I'm going to have to pick this up, well, definitely in a part 2, which I will probably be releasing this weekend. I might even do a part 3 depending on how much I decide to talk. It's a story that I do want to tell. I mean, I don't know if you're massively interested in it or not, but it's a topic I've not yet covered, and I'm sort of sharing tips along the way, so I do think it's educational as well as, you know, obviously interesting. Well, in my opinion, it's interesting. But do let me know in the comment section below if you've got an opinion on it or whatever, but I think it's a story that I do want to tell. Depending on how much I talk about it, it might stretch into a third part, but definitely part 2 coming out sometime later this weekend. As for the next video, tomorrow or sometime later today, I might even be posting a second video regarding Fortnite. Season 7 is about to drop. I want to, and I'm planning to make a video about my theories and predictions for Season 7. I also have some exciting news to announce regarding Season 7. So stay tuned for that. I said that video will be going up tonight or tomorrow, but hopefully before Season 7 drops itself. As well as back to normal in terms of recording videos for my YouTube channel, I'm also back to streaming on Twitch as well. Link for my Twitch channel is in the description below. It'll also be linked on the screen at the start and at the end of the video, so you can check it out from there. But yeah, basically before Season 7, I've just been grinding a lot of Season 6, mainly because I've been at my parents' house and there's nothing much more I could have done there, so I just spent a lot of time playing. So if you fancy seeing some live gameplay, joining in the chat, then do pop along. The more the merrier, and of course everyone is welcome. But yeah, that'll have to do it for today's video. As per usual, if you enjoyed the content, do consider tapping the like button. I really do appreciate it. And as always, if you've got any thoughts I'd like to share with me regarding anything I've talked about or anything you've seen, do let me know in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, do consider tapping that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. But until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care, and I will see you later.
And now it's hard to